We're here with Washington State women's basketball head coach Kamie Ethridge. Coach, we'll get an opening statement from you, and then we'll open the floor for questions. But first, how is your team feeling coming back from the holiday break?
Well, we're excited. Everybody got back. We got back on the 28th and didn't practice until yesterday, the 29th. And obviously, before we get on the court, we test and tested again this morning, and all is good right now. We were a little fumble fingers getting back into it, which I think is a little to be expected, but excited, and everybody was thrilled to be back. And we're just looking forward to what's ahead of us. And right now ahead of us is Utah and Colorado. So we're just getting to work and excited to be going there this weekend.
How is this team? You've only had one practice so far, but how do you feel like this team is at mentally right now? And how are they approaching the rest of the season after the teams has a 4-1 start to begin the season?
Well, I just think they've been really, workmanlike. They don't get too full of themselves in any way. I don't think they feel satisfied that we've really done or accomplished anything. I think I've got a group of people that are real grateful for the opportunity to be able to play, careful and trying to make sure that they're healthy and able to play and protective of one another and the program. And, we're just anxious to try to get as many games in as we possibly can, knowing that it's difficult to do and you're dealing with a lot of uncontrollable things out there, but things that we can kind of keep a grasp on, I think they've done a great job of. And that's, getting in the gym and working hard and preparing well for Utah right now and trying to get ourselves a little bit better.
I believe the cat's out of the bag on Charli Walker. You've talked about her all off season, talking about how she's one of the better players that you've been around. She just won her second Pac-12 Freshman of the Week honor for the second time in 3 weeks. And the Athletic recently mentioned her, so that she's getting a lot of national pub. How has she been able to handle that, and how have you seen her progression on the court so far through each game?
I think she's a very special athlete. I've been around really good athletes before and really successful players young in their career. She comes in with a lot of, she's been put in a lot of positions her whole career to have to lead a team and carry a team in so many situations. And, she's from a different country, very different than the U.S. and New Zealand. And they're very, I would just call them, they're very workmanlike people. I would say she's not a bravado type of person, where if she has success, she's going to beat her chest and tell everybody how good she is. In fact, I think they don't want people. They don't like being a person of a big ego or anything like that. And I just think that's her. So she doesn't feel the weight of the world on her in any capacity that she's done this for 2 weeks and has to do more. She's just a really great teammate, and she's a really great competitor. And I think she looks at it as this is the next challenge. And what I've done in the past was great and almost even fantastic to be in the game against Oregon, but it's not where we want to go. And she wants to get better, and she wants this team to succeed. And she's going to do everything she can to help make that happen.
Jacob Stevenson from Cougs fan. Go ahead.
Coach, how did you first gain notice of the Walker sisters? What's the story behind your recruitment of both Crystal and Charlize?
Yeah, it goes way back. I don't know what, obviously, we did not think we had a scholarship at Northern Colorado for Crystal. She did not sign early. So we got our hands on some film from her, actually looking at another player on the film, and we saw Crystal. Must have been in, March. We just got on the ball and got in contact with her. She had already had 5 other schools that she was planning on visiting, and we worked our way into being one of those 5 where we could bring her in on a visit. And we were lucky enough to sign Crystal late. And in signing her, You got to know her mother, who was a phenomenal player in New Zealand, was on an Olympic team, one of the premier coaches. She coaches both Charlize and Crystal in high school. So we got to know her and obviously knew of Charlize as soon as we signed Crystal, because Charlize was playing at a high level, even 4 years younger than Crystal. So just have known her and have known Charlize ever since. Obviously, when we were at Northern Colorado, we did not think, we knew we couldn't get Charlize. We knew she was better than, maybe a mid-major. And obviously, when we got the job here, that allowed things to change a little bit. And, Crystal's situation got her to us again. And again, I think the relationship piece of the fact that we've known Crystal and Charlize and, Eliu and Leanne, the family, and Tanika, that I think those things have just got us to the point where we could connect really well and I think gain Charlize's trust and along with knowing that she wanted to play at the highest level and play at the Pac-12 level or the Power Conference level. So it all worked out to in a great situation, and we're thrilled to have obviously both of them with us.
Dick and Tony Bennett, of course, have the Pac-line defense. Does your defensive system have a name? And can you talk about some X's and O's or philosophies you're doing on defense this year?
Yeah, it's not anything different. We try to be really versatile. We don't necessarily play pack line. We tend to force things to the baseline, and that's a little bit different, but have a lot of the same principles. We're not super aggressive in passing lanes, but I think the thing that just stood out more than anything is Crystal and Charlize and Yo, those three guards, Ula for sure, and now Bella, the starting group. They're all really good physical bodies, and they can guard people one-on-one. And we've lacked a little bit of that ability in the last couple of years that I've been in the gym, and that's just given us a better presence on the ball, and we tend to speed people up, which good teams do. Good defensive teams speed offensive teams up, and all of a sudden they can't make shots going that fast. And then we finish the play with the rebounding the ball really well. So it's not anything more than it's the same scheme that we've always wanted to be, but we just have better bodies, a little bit better quickness, and the physicality part. We're a more physical team than we've been in the past, and that is what you need to match up with the length and the size and the athleticism of the other teams in the Pac-12.
Forgive my ignorance, but Sheer started 28 games and played in all 31 last year. She's played sparingly this season. Is there some sort of injuries or kind of a situational thing?
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate thing. I mean, I love Sheer. Sheer is the epitome of who and what we want in our program. She is a great culture piece. She is a great work ethic piece. Her character, her willingness to do whatever the team needs. It's everything we want in our program. She's a key component. She just, she just plays in a position that quite frankly kind of is Charlize's position. Charlize is very versatile. Charlize can play the 1, 2, 3, and 4. Sheer was kind of that 2, 3, 4 spot for us a year ago. We're getting more solid minutes from a true 4 in Ula this year, which we didn't get a year ago. So Sheer was just a real versatile player that could fill in. And now all of a sudden we have more depth at those spots, and we have people that can get those minutes, and we don't have as many minutes to give out. And it's not that I don't have confidence in Sheer. It's just, so far this year, I've probably shrunk my bench a little bit in close games. And I hope to extend that. And I hope that we get a little bit more depth and more people playing, but that's on me on game day. But it's not lack of confidence in Sheer. It's just the reality that we've got more talent in the gym this year and more depth at every position.
Thank you.
Coach, looking ahead to this weekend, you got go up to the mountains to play Utah and Colorado. You start off with the Utes. It's a team that you're getting that's kind of been sliding a little bit lately. They've lost 3 straight. They still have a star in Brianna Maxwell, but it's a team that struggled to score the ball so far. So they're averaging less than 60 points a game. How are you preparing for the Utes, and just what are you already expecting to see just out of the weekend?
Well, again, I think statistics can be pretty skewed right now, especially, given who they've played in the league, maybe some of the best defensive teams. So I'm not surprised by, everybody struggles against those teams. So they're similar to what they were a year ago, and they just rocked us a year ago. They came in here and beat us every way possible. Maxwell had a great game, and we couldn't really stop them. So they're a really talented team that can shoot the three, and if you let them have any space at all, they're gonna beat you from the 3-point line. So we've got to defend the three. It's something we've done pretty well this year, but it's a big challenge. And Maxwell is as good of a shooter as we've seen. I mean, I think she's right up there with McSell and from Oregon and Bowley in some ways. So it's a real challenge, and she's not the only one on the team. They really shoot the three well. So it's a great challenge for us. I like our team and how we prepare and how they study and how they know personnel really well. We take a lot of pride in that. So we're going to have to be really on point for that against Utah.
And then you go against Colorado team. It's a team that you've seen last year. You came back from a 14-point deficit in the second half against them and had a thrilling win. What do you expect out of the Buffaloes this week as you get ready to go against them?
Again, same thing. I think the thing that you worry about as coaches, you worry about everything. You're going into altitude. Our players already think about that. So that's a concern that you have. You've got to, it's the back-to-back game. You've got to have a great game the first game just to give yourself a chance to win that game. And then you turn around a day later and, all the road trappings, it's difficult to win on the road. That's just the reality. So it's a great challenge for us just to, we have to scout well. We have to know the other team really well. We have to take our defensive game on the road and be really solid defensively. And if we are, then, we give ourselves a chance to win. And, but at the same time, we've really got to keep getting better on the offensive end of the floor and learning how to play with each other and learning how to manufacture, obviously, more points. But Colorado presents a same situation as Utah. They're probably a little bit more aggressive on the defensive end. Great length, but super aggressive and long, and create a lot of, in our ball screen offense, they really disrupt a lot of the offensive flow. So great challenges from both teams. And, we'll worry about Colorado on Saturday. And right now we'll just focus on Utah.
All right, Coach. Appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you after the games. Go Cougs.
All right. Thanks. Go Cougs.